Good afternoon all. Previous lecture we had discussed with the structure of the nephron. Here few points are remaining there. I told to you that the nephron is made up of two things: Malpighian body and renal tubule. Malpighian body consists two things: Bowman's capsule and glomerulus. But PCT onwards, neck to PCT onwards, up to the collecting duct, the wall tube-like structure of the nephron is known as renal tubule. Now, nephron is situated. Majority you remember one thing. Here I can draw the very small diagram of the nephron. Bowman's capsule, PCT, loop of Henle, DCT and CT. Okay, again I can draw the diagram. Bowman's capsule, Bowman's capsule, PCT, loop of Henle, DCT and CT. Right? But here you remember, I can put now here dotted line. So just above the dotted line, you see the Bowman's capsule, PCT and DCT. These all structures are located in cortex, and this region is present in medulla. So we say like that. Okay, Bowman's capsule, PCT and DCT. These all regions are located towards the cortex, whereas the U-shaped loop of Henle and collecting duct located towards medulla. Okay, but here this all nephrons actually in each kidney 10 to 15, in each kidney 10 to 15 pyramids are there, and 10 lakh nephrons, 1 million nephrons are present in each kidney, but in all pyramids each and every nephron is arranged in the highly coiled manner. Now, the major important thing See, the main important thing, all the collecting ducts of all nephrons in each pyramid, all the collecting ducts of all nephrons in each pyramid join together and form the column of Bellini. And this column of Bellini is now open in the minor calyces. See, so this is, now you, after understanding this diagram, you get the point. And what is column of Bellini? See, suppose this is the column of Bellini. How it forms? Look. See, Bowman's capsule, neck, PCT, endless loop, DCT and collecting duct. Fine, and it opens in it. And here on this side, Bowman's capsule is lying towards this region. So now I can give you the one chart. Up to that, two words are used there. Initially we use the word filtrate, and then urine. Fine. See, see, initially in this region, from Bowman's capsule to DCT, we use the word filtrate there. So blood is filtered and filtrate is formed inside the Bowman's capsule. So DCT, up to DCT, we use the word filtrate. Never use the word urine. The first site in the nephron at where we use the urine word, that is collecting duct. So from collecting duct, yes, up to end there we use the word urine, because so many changes occur here in these different regions of the nephron. Okay, so this is the basic thing here. Please remember that glomerulus, Bowman's capsule, PCT and DCT, these are located towards the cortical region. Leukophilin collecting duct, all are connected or located towards the medulla. And this is the duct of Bellini or column of Bellini. Now, two types of nephrons are there. Two types of nephrons are there. Cortical nephron and juxtamedullary nephron. See, cortical nephrons are located towards the cortex region, whereas juxtamedullary nephrons are located towards the medulla part. Now here 85% of total nephron, 85% of total nephron, out of that 85% is of cortical nephron. Fine. So remaining, it is very easy, remaining 15% of the nephrons are juxtamedullary nephrons. Another important point is that See, cortical nephrons consist very short loop of Henle or lack of loop of Henle, and juxtamedullary nephrons consist well developed loop of Henle. According to this point, before continuing in detail, the length of the loop of Henle is more concentration of the urine. So length of loop of Henle is directly proportional to the concentration of the urine. But normal pH of the human urine is 6. So normal urine is slightly acidic. So you think about that here. No loop of Henle or very short length of loop of Henle. As a result, 85% urine is formed is dilute. Whereas 15% medullary nephrons, you consider that it consists well developed and proper length of the loop of Henle. That's why it consists more concentration compared to this. So more concentrated urine and dilute urine, but all the nephrons secretion join together and form the slightly concentrated urine that consists the pH 6. And normal amount of human urine per day, that is 1 to 2 liter, or you say that this amount is variated according to the water amount intake by the person, but average 1.5 liter per day urine is excreted. So here this is the wall chart, and in Bowman's capsule the blood is filtered, filtrate is formed. Now the filtrate is passed through the neck, PCT, loop of Henle. You know that two regions are there in the loop of Henle, descending limb and ascending limb, then distal convoluted tubule. Now here in this region, so many changes occur that in the filtrate composition, filtrate concentration and composition both. Now afterwards the DCT, the urine is formed. Okay, after DCT urine is formed, and then urine is collected. The formed urine is collected by collecting duct. Then collecting duct pour the urine in the duct of Bellini or column of Bellini. Now, as you know that I have drawn the diagram of the internal structure of the kidney in previous class. At that time I have drawn the pyramid in the kidney. So you assume that towards the cortex side medullary pyramid Malpighian body is there, okay, and towards the medullary side you know that minor calyces are there. So this portion is of the nephron, and this portion is now situated in the pyramid in the kidney. Okay, this all the regions are of the nephron. Okay, and so many nephrons join together from the column of Bellini. So this region is located inside the pyramid. Now, after formation of the column of Bellini, it opens into minor calyces of each pyramid. You know that so many minor calyces join together and form the major calyces. Many major calyces form together and form the renal pelvis. Renal pelvis is now continued with the ureter. We are going down. Ureter transfer the urine from the kidney. So these are the parts of the kidney. These are the parts of the pyramid and these are the parts of the nephron. Dear students, please understand this. These are the parts of the nephron. This is the part of the pyramid up to column of Bellini. And now up to renal pelvis. All these structures are situated in the kidney. Now, ureter transfer the urine from kidney to urinary bladder. In urinary bladder, the urine is accumulated and then by contraction it is sent to urethra and then it is excreted outside of the body. So, for understanding the whole chapter, you have to remember this chart. See, very short of loop of Henle and no loop of Henle is there. So this indicates very short length of vasa recta also. See, yesterday I had told to you that what is the difference between vasa recta and loop of Henle? See, loop of Henle is the part of nephron. Loop of Henle is the part of nephron and vasa recta is the part of circulatory network. Fine. Loop of Henle is concerned with the vasa recta. Okay, so you know that surrounding to the vasa recta and surrounding to the loop of Henle, you get the one word. Loop of Henle is hairpin structure. See, in the textbook it is given that loop of Henle is hairpin like structure. Important MCQ. Parallel to the loop of Henle the artery or vein is travel parallel to the loop of Henle, that is known as vasa recta. Fine. So here you think about that very short length of loop of Henle, so it is resemble to this, that very short length of vasa recta or no vasa recta. Fine. And here vasa recta is same. So this is about the structure of the nephron, different parts of the nephron. Fine. Now the formation of the urine. We will continue with the topic. See, there are three stages of formation of urine. First phase is known as ultrafiltration or pressure filtration or glomerulus filtration. Here, with the help of high blood pressure, the blood is entered inside the Bowman's capsule, and you know that in the Bowman's capsule, the inner wall of the Bowman's capsule, specialized cells are there known as podocyte. And podocytes are arranged in such a way that in between the two successive podocytes, the gap is present known as filtration pore. With high blood pressure, not that much high, okay. With high blood pressure, the blood is now entered inside the Bowman's capsule. Major components of the blood are filtered out here in the Bowman's capsule, and then filtrate is formed. remaining blood which is not filtered in the Bowman's capsule comes out through the efferent arteriole, efferent one. Fine. Some components are very important in the filtrate. It should be absorbed back in the blood. Okay, so that is known as second phase, selective absorption, reabsorption. Selective reabsorption means the important components which are filtered from the blood present in the filtrate, but very important for the body are selectively reabsorbed and poured into blood back. Then third phase is known as tubular secretion. Some poisonous substances, some medicines are not filtered in the Bowman's capsule. Some medicines, some toxic substances, some drugs, okay, some other products are filtered in the blood but cannot be filtered in the Bowman's capsule, remains in the blood, are now directly secreted into the tubule. That's why it is known as tubular secretion. So now you think about, you try to understand this. So up to the distal convoluted tubule, urine is not formed. So after distal convoluted tubule, now the filtrate it consists only and only the major portion of the water and major components of the waste products produced by the body. Now we say that it is the urine. See, next point is, now later on we will continue with the formation of the urine, but I want to tell you the few points here. Diameter of efferent arteriole. Efferent arteriole enter inside the Bowman's capsule. Efferent arteriole enter inside the Bowman's capsule. It is the branch of the renal artery. Efferent arteriole diameter is more than the efferent arteriole because in the efferent arteriole 70 mmHg blood pressure is there. Later on I will tell you more blood pressure is there. So due to more blood pressure the artery cannot be ruptured, that's why diameter is larger here. And when you compare the efferent and efferent arteriole both, so compared to the both the arteriole, The capillaries present in the glomerulus have narrow waist diameter. So in afferent arteriole, previously I just before few seconds I told to you that in if afferent arteriole 70 mm Hg blood pressure is there. So now this 70 mm Hg blood pressure consists in blood enter inside the capillaries of the glomerulus. So again blood pressure aggravates, and with that much more pressure the blood is passed through the wall Bowman's capsule, and in this way pressure filtration or glomerular filtration or ultrafiltration occur. You see in the textbook figure 19.4 where it is clearly given there. You see on your left side afferent arteriole, so that diameter is more than the efferent one. And when you compare both the arteriole, afferent and efferent, see the capillaries present in the glomerulus where diameter is much more less compared to afferent and efferent one. See, again I will tell you for structure of the nephron, few points I only verbally tell you, but for that I will do the board work here. Double layered cup-like structure double layered cup-like bag is known as Bowman's capsule. Inner layer consist specialized cells known as podocytes. But podocytes arranged in such a way form filtration pore. Okay, now see, I told to you that in ultrafiltration or pressure filtration, major portion of the blood is filtered. So many components I can write now here. Components in filtrate. CO2, sorry, carbohydrate, protein, ammonia, urea, lipid, water, minerals, vitamins, drugs, uric acid, ions, hormones, enzymes, etc. I have written here the few components of the filtrate which is found in the Bowman's capsule. But only one thing. See, if all components, this all components are now excreted outside of body, the condition is created malnutrition. See, when you read this, all the components of the filtrate, you imagine that this is very, very important. Few components are very, very important for our body that cannot be excreted out. So this malnutrition is prevented by the selective reabsorption occurred by PCT. So here I can stop now. Remaining thing we will discuss in next lecture. Fine.